Okay, good afternoon, gents. How you doing? How's things down in South Africa, mate? What you got? What your weather like? I bet you're pretty much the same as us, aren't you? Kev, how you doing? I am looking at this, actually. We've got a leg down, a little bit of sideways, and let's see what happens. I was hoping that was going to become nice and bearish there and sit off there, but it hasn't, so... Warm and I was really, it's pretty miserable. What is it here at the moment? 16 degrees centigrade and raining. Surprise, surprise. Yeah, we seem to have this bigger channel. We've had originally a leg and a little bit of sideways, and another leg. So I've been sort of swapping around and maybe doing it like this. I don't know, but it kind of fits there, doesn't it? Same here in Ireland. What part of Ireland are you in, Kev? North or the south? And what part of the north or the south? I've spent a bit of time in both, actually. Well, more than north. Oh, you're the south, are you? Worst weekend of my life. Went to Dublin on a work do about 10 years ago, I think, something like that. Worst weekend ever in my life. Ever. We went on the boat from Holyhead. We started drinking Murphy's at 11 o'clock in the morning and finished at about 3:30 the following morning at the Jury's Hotel. Worst hangover I've ever had in my life. I remember on the boat on my hands and knees being sick. That's a hangover I'll never forget. Indy, how you doing, pal? Yeah, I'm not sure what's going on here, but yeah. Yeah, boats and beer don't go very well, do they? No, I spent some time in the north. My stepdad was in the military, and we spent some time out in Omagh in the north. Did a couple of years there. Fair few years back now, but I can actually adjust this a fraction. I can micro adjust this. In fact, it actually probably fits slightly better. It touches better there. It's a tough one, this. It could be a trap, this. I kind of like it because it's off there, but I'm going to wait for the higher low.
Order
Not
submitted.
only that, we got the, We got, it hasn't triggered, and we've got the market officially just open, so let's just keep an eye on this. Let's see if it drops. Let's have a look. I've got a feeling it's going a bit sideways there. See if it gives us a lower high. That's probably a little bit out of the realms. The trouble is, you can keep micro adjusting this. That is probably a little bit too far, isn't it? Let's put it back for now. Just keep an eye on it. I don't mind micro adjusting it if it fits, and in all fairness, we touch there and it touches beautifully there, so I'm okay with that one, but that's probably a little bit too much. How you doing, Ryan? So we'll see. It may come down a bit more and retest these. I don't know though, because we've come from here and we're a little bit further away, so it may break below here to trap some shorts and then push up, but
order
let's
cancelled.
Get rid of that now. So you can safely say it's a break. I mean, it is possible that it isn't a bigger channel. It looks okay to me, Baby Squid. Might be choppy all morning with high impact news and power speaking. Yeah, I've got those two there. Well, I did take a trade earlier. Took 2 points off that one. It did look like we had a leg and then sideways and then one leg. I was expecting that, but it didn't quite get down here, but it comfortably took 2 points anyway. I kind of like that one. So that went down for about 4.5 points, so 2 points. It was comfortable. Chris, how you doing? But yeah, we got some news. ISM manufacturing in around about 30 minutes, fraction under 30 minutes. Then we got Powell talking from 4 o'clock UK time, which is about an hour after. So yeah, okay, so we've had a break, so it's a leg and a leg. Let's see. There's a leg and a leg. We may come down, but we may continue up, but it's quite shallow, so let's have a look. put that there and put that there. So it may still come down. I don't know. Leg and a leg. We'll see. There's also a possibility of a. The trouble is, yeah, it depends how you draw that. You can draw that from here and have a break and a new low. There is a possibility just to do that from there if you want to, and it sort of touches there and touches there. That's a possibility as well. There and there, but I kind of like the larger one, and in a lot of cases you'll see Mac come off this first sort of swing, and in a lot of cases it works. So that's what I'm choosing anyway. Let's see what happens when we hit this measured move. I can come down a fraction actually. Okay, so that measured move's been hit. So we come back here and bounce here, then we may be working it. But I have a feeling we're going to come down and retest these lows. But it does obviously depend on how you've drawn that channel. So I'm being wary anyway around here. I've got a PA account going live in a couple of days, and I've got 2 more going live about 3 days after. So I'm just mentally preparing myself now. Every evening I'm going through it. My biggest problem is accepting a loss. So I'm trying to focus on that. I'm trying to sort of prepare to lose. That might sound a bit odd in a way. But winning's, pretty straightforward. You win, you feel good. But when you take a loss, so I think you've got to prepare yourself for that eventuality. What are you going to do? Because that's the one problem I have. My patience is not too bad. It's getting there, and it is improving with practice. My skill level to take trades, I think, is okay. I think I can comfortably trade on average 80%. On average, something like that. And I tend to go for around about 2 points. In a lot of cases, it's near 1-to-1. So I can certainly get an equity curve to go upwards slowly but surely. So I'm just trying to focus and concentrate on what to do with my weaker point, which is taking losses and getting away from the computer. So I'm going through that book. I did start it on Audible, the Best Loser Wins. I'm doing that. I'm also trying to get myself some sort of a vocal affirmation that I can play when I lose a trade. Because none of us like to lose a trade, but it is a fact of trading. So you have to be able to deal with it, and it may be a case of thinking about it and preparing for it and having something in place. Because if I can sew up that side of my trading, I think I'm probably 90% there. That's the hardest part for me, walking away. I can get an account built up, that I can do. Patience is getting better. I'm realising the more I install my patience, and that works, the better things go anyway. So it's just practice, isn't it? I think that's gone too far to come back. It may do, but we certainly played that measured move out now, so it's still fitted in there nicely. So we'll have to see. So how far could we come back? Maybe all the way. Who knows? Okay, so I don't often use this, just sometimes if I feel like sometimes if I feel like it's worth it. So right at the bottom, right at the top. So that's a possible target, and if it starts to I just moved it, haven't I? If it starts to reverse from there, at least I'll have an idea that it what am I trying to say? If it does, yeah, if it does, we get a bit of an overshoot here or something, and we hit this sort of level, then that will, tell me that we're likely to come down. Not necessarily retest the lows. It's possible, but it's a bit trial and error there. But I put it in there because if it does hit that and we get an overshoot, the combination of the overshoot and that 50% level will just help me sort of plan what I'm going to do next if we do happen to get a short. But it is fitting quite nice in there, so there is a little bit of congestion here, which is probably going to cause something similar here. So if we can sort of get a couple of legs back here, I don't mind taking that because that's fitting quite nice in there. So it's certainly going up now. How far it'll go up, I don't know, but there is, as I say, some congestion there, and there is a possible target there, so let's have a look. I'm aware of this news as well is coming out. Let's put this a bit closer so I can keep it my line. You can see that area there, can't you? So there is a possibility. I'm just going to put that there and fade it out a little bit. Possibility we may get a bit of sideways. Yeah, so we may have had a break here. That may be a break. I'm going to leave that there because whenever I see Max charts, all the time he does that. He'll go from that first sort of proper swing. 10 o'clock news, 11 o'clock news, determined to screw up my model. I don't know why they don't bring the news out of hours. It'd be a lot more straightforward, wouldn't it? Why not wait till the end of the day, 5 PM Eastern Standard Time, drop the news out then? Where's the problem? But having said that, a lot of people do trade the news, don't they? I believe it's starting to get quite a popular way of trying to pass evaluations. Guy told me he did that the other day. He has 2 evaluations. He waits for the news. He has one long for 6.5 or 6.25 points and one short for 6.25 points. And he reckons it's pretty successful. So if we do get a bit of a spike in a way, sometimes it'll go up and then down quickly. Other times it'll just go in one direction. So if you tend to pass your evaluations via way of gambling them, that might be a better way to gamble them rather than just to come in the normal market. Okay, so we've come right from the top here, which is nice, and it looks like 2 legs. So if we can get maybe a nice bearish bar there, it'd be 1, 2, 3, it'd be a triple test. I kind of like that one. So let's get that ready. If that sits there, I don't mind taking that. Let's see how far it goes up. I prefer it a bit lower. That's better. So if that works out nice, we'll see. If that finishes bullish, I'll take that. But we are going into that midline, so okay, I think we're okay. See, we're over a bit there, so I can adjust that fraction to there. So we got a leg down and a leg down. I'd like that to at least break the same level as that, if not a tick below. But it has bounced close to these highs, so I'm going to take that because it is off that key entry point. Let's see if what time are we? No. I want it to. It's going a bit sideways now, isn't it? Congested. No, It's congested. It's probably
Order
going to go up
canceled.
in all fairness, but it's congested, so it's getting a little bit choppy there. So there's a failure. So let's see if that triggers.
Order submitted.
I did mention it may get a bit sideways with this. So if we can trigger that failure, because there's probably going to be some people picking a short here to retest these bottoms. No.
Order canceled.
Let's leave it. It could continue to go sideways as well for the next 15 minutes, so forget it. I do expect it to come to these tops. I'd like to see that bar trigger a short before it pushes up. What I do like is we've pushed up and we've bounced multiple times here, so I think it's likely, well, it is pushing up. Excuse me, I think it's likely it's going to get to the top here. Unfortunately, there was no real entry. If you'd have took that entry, it would have worked because you'd have had a stop one tick below, so it would have survived. But in all fairness, really, for me, that the bottom of that stem needs to be at least level or ideally a tick below it. And then I'd have ridden that up to the top, just before the top, which is, well, around about there, I'd say, for 2 points. It should make it. It's had a nice big bullish bar there, and it's had a bounce. It's bounced a bunch of times out, so I expect that to get to the top, or certainly to make them 2 points. So that wouldn't have worked. So it was a good decision to stay out of it. That's what I mean. It's just, it's risky, that is. Where it is, you wanted to tick below, really, and then push up. But what would you have got out of that? You'd have got a point out of that, or maybe a fraction more. You'd have got a point and a half out of it. It went up to 1.75, so just a bit risky, especially now we're bouncing on this. Okay, so let's say that's a break. I like that channel. It looks like a two-tiered channel. We've touched here. Actually, I can micro adjust that to incorporate that. Yeah. So we touched here. We've touched there as well. But it's just, by the time it triggers above there, you've already got 3 bars side by side. So it's just risky. And then when it's teeing off the bottom of every one of them, it's a no-no for me anyway. I'll be inclined to get out of that. It did make a point and a half, but I did say that we're likely to incorporate some of that, and we did really. It went up, down, sideways, and then a bit of a drop. So would you fade this? I don't like picking bottoms. I'm picking these areas. I'm not very good at them, in all fairness. So there's a leg and a leg. Now let's see what happens. See if we do come back and retest this. Trouble is, if you're going to fade it, where do you fade it from? That one clearly didn't work. This one. Yeah, it's just a bit uncertain. This news that's up and coming. Whether that's causing any of this, I don't know. Okay, so we've got some sideways. We've got a leg and a little bullish bar there. So that's a higher low there. So maybe that's a way back up. I just don't know, because there is a possible, if that triggers, it could trigger and come back down. I think we've got a bullish bar here and a bullish bar here, so there's more chance of getting back in here, but I don't like picking these. I'm not very good at them. We may come down and retest this. Depends how you've got that channel right, but I'm not getting involved in this anyway. There's not enough room to the EMA. Is it going to work back in here? I think it's more likely to, but I got no idea. We've all got sort of strong points and weak points when it comes to trading, and picking these areas that break isn't a strength of mine. Hasn't triggered anyway yet, so. Okay, so we got a little channel here with a break. Maybe we're going to get one push up and a second push up, in which case then we may come down. It does look like it's trying to drop. Yeah, that news is in 10 minutes. See, some news doesn't really get affected. I used to notice when I put on Bookmap, when I had Bookmap on, you'd see all the orders start to fade out. You'd have a big sort of black channel, but it didn't always do it. Okay, so we're going to drop. I think that's kind of nice. Push up once, push up twice. The trouble is, it is a bit congested there, and it'd be a shame to get triggered there. And so we've got a little channel there, and we made one attempt to go higher, second attempt to go higher. Ordinarily, if that was bearish, I don't think it'd be a bad trade. But it is a bit congested, and we have got the news coming up in about 9 minutes, so I think it's a bit risky going short there for me. But we have got to drop. It is a leg and a leg. One push up, second push up. With two attempts to go higher to push back in there. So ordinarily, that's the type of trade I don't mind taking. But obviously with the news, a little bit of uncertainty, that's where I'd come out. If I was going to take, well, let's put it a little bit lower, because I'm not quite enough below that bar. Okay, clearly made 2 points easily. That's the type of trade I like. In all fairness, I've got the 1,000 tick chart above my head. That looks even better. We had this channel. We had one leg up, 2 legs up. Tried a bunch of times. And I kind of like that one. Maybe second entry long, trap some longs, thinking we're going to push up. come down. So that's a short I may have taken actually, but obviously we got this news. Clearly worked. But we got a little channel down here. We had a break of it. We had 2 attempts to go up. We pushed up nice and strongly, came down, finished pretty low, slightly congested. But if you can sort of, well, I say, it looks to me like we've got a leg up, come back, and another leg up. So it's not mega congested. But we have got that news there, so I think it just adds to it. I'd have preferred that to look a bit more bearish, but apart from that, I like the trade, and the trade would have worked nicely. Trouble is, so close to the news. I mean, I would say it's congested. It isn't. It isn't. It's readable congestion. We got little 2 legs down there. We made 1 attempt to go higher, second attempt to go higher, failure, came down quite nice. But obviously, it's readable congestion. But I think during the news, it may trigger that, push up a little bit and go sideways a bit, and that might cause some problems. And the worst thing to do is be what doing? The worst worst thing to do is be stuck in a trade when the news comes up, because you've got no choice. You've got to get out before it starts. And if you're unfortunately down a little bit. Right, now it's possible that there may end up being, now what I'm seeing now is, let's forget that, let's do this, leg, and there, with a possibility of a larger one. Let's have a look. Okay, so it actually fits really nice at the back. So I think it's a leg down with a couple of legs up and a second leg down. Personally, I think it's starting to look like that for me. Let's leave that there a minute. Leg down, couple of legs of correction within there. You can almost see a couple of legs, can't you? Maybe a leg and a leg, something like that. But it needs to bounce off here and continue down. But it's certainly possible, that is. So we've touched it. Let's see what we touch here, whether it is. I don't know whether it is or not. But okay, that news is coming up in a fraction under 5 minutes. Okay, I got the 4,000, sorry, the 4,000 tick chart above me, not the 1,000, sorry. That kind of looks like leg, a couple of legs up, leg. If we can bounce here and then get some good downward stuff. I mean, this is all just guesswork at the moment. It's possible. I just want to see if it bounces here. There is a hidden second entry short there. If that finishes really bearish, that's not a bad trade. Unfortunately, the news is in 4 minutes, so it's a bit of a no. If that would have finished bearish, I'd have had a go at that because we have bounced off this. But obviously we got the news, and it's not very bearish in all fairness. It may still come down, but it does look like a leg up. It is 2 legs up. It is a hidden second entry, not by the count, but we've touched here. That's what I wanted to see, what happens if it does come up here and get bearish. I think that ups the chances of that being a valid channel. It may still come down from here. I'm very well, mate. Thank you. How are you? Okay. Try to go once, try to go twice. Possible triple test off there. Not much you can really do anyway because of the news. Other than news, yeah. See what happens here. But yeah, the news is out in 2 minutes. Yeah, technically. Obviously, it would have triggered. But if that had come nice and bearish, then that may have interested me. But obviously, we've got the news. So let's have a look here. Yeah, it is a bit early to put that bigger channel in. I just put it because often it'll work. Often if you put it up here, often it'll work. Now, you can adjust that a fraction. I mean, you could even maybe call it a spike and channel maybe from here. That would work. It's kind of bearish. We'll see. I'll leave it there for now, but if it gets any further up, then obviously. Okay, let's stick that right there because we got that news coming up in about 45 seconds. There is a failure there. Triangular once, triangular twice. Okay. Let's see if we get any fireworks. Okay. I like the way it stayed there. That's a good sign. Maybe not now. Okay, leg up, leg up. Weird, isn't it? No matter whether it goes up or down, it always compensates. So that might not be a terrible short if it calms down. But we went down, up. Wow. Still haven't beaten that 55-point bar I saw about 3 or 4 months ago. Okay, so let's get rid of the big one. Now let's just drag this over because I think that is quite possible. We may be going sideways. Let's bring this down a fraction to there. I like that. Okay. Quite a nice bearish bar there, considering we originally went down. Well, I'm just going to remove the that one bit of news. Okay, so we've had this channel up here. We've had a break of it. We've had a couple of attempts to go lower and a nice big strong bullish bar. So that might have been the type of trade that the Penguin guy takes. After that, I have stopped doing that because I need to focus on what I know. Okay, that clearly would have worked. I need to focus on what I know. Sometimes when you have a little bit of time of struggling, you tend to want to look for something else and think it's the strategy when, in all fairness, it's a good strategy, this, and I have been doing it for nearly 2.5 years, so it's stupid to walk away now, isn't it? Okay, so I can adjust this a little bit so it sits there, and that fits nice then. Touch, 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 and 2 nice touches there. So we've come off this lows, that's the problem. So trouble is you can get that focused in making lows after this, and in some cases it just doesn't happen. That's too shallow, that. Yeah, absolutely, bud. Absolutely. I did speak to Mac about it a while ago, maybe 6 or 8 months, and he went, it's only natural as a trader to look for things to give you more confidence, to look for reasons for you to take a trade. He said it's common. Everyone does it. So don't fight it. Just go through it. It's a process, you know. But it does happen. You do look for ideas. You know, I went through that phase with Bookmap. I've got rid of Bookmap now because I know it doesn't really help this type of strategy. I mean, this is pure price action. We go based on price action, not necessarily what, you know, Bookmap is telling us. The only reason I found Bookmap to be, quite valuable is if we're in a strong trend. But, you know, I did that. And obviously I've tried to change charts as well. Look at the 1,000-tick chart and the 500 and stuff like that. But I think ultimately it's just something you do, I think. You know, something you do just to give you more. Because you doubt yourself. And you doubt, you know, sometimes you have a day, you have a rough day or something. And it's amazing how you can go from being super confident to having your confidence really knocked. It can happen overnight, literally. But I think ultimately, you've just got to stick to what you know. And I mean, like me, I've spent over 2 years doing this, so it's not something you really want to be changing because we know it's effective, we know it works. Okay, so possible second entry long of, let's see what happens here. But there's a couple of attempts to go higher there. For me, it still looks like it's working up, so I'm not really thinking about going short. But nor long at the minute, really. I'd like to maybe retest this line or bounce, go sideways a bit and before we start to continue to push up. Because there may be some shorts there and it may work, but the way this is starting to travel back up, might be hunting down them stops. So you can recount that. So possible, there's first entry, possible second entry. As I say, I'm not really thinking about going long or short at the moment. You could get trapped. It may come back in here. It may not. It may trigger that short, bounce off here and push up. But we've had a break and we have made 2 attempts to go lower. And after that second attempt, we had a big push up. Obviously, that was a lot to do with the news. I think, wasn't it here? Or was it here? No, it was just outside the news, I think. So yeah, I'm just a bit unsure what to do here. It may bounce here and push higher. That could be a second entry long, or it may just have had a failed breakout. Nice bearish bar, and eventually it's worked its way in. But if it does hold here, maybe an option for a higher low. I never take this first one when we've had a breakout at the top because it may trigger and come down. I think you're best off waiting on the higher low to confirm we're pushing up. Excuse me. Okay, we're still holding here. If we can get a higher low, then I quite fancy going along there. Okay, so new high. You can recount that. So try go once, try go twice. Possible failure. If this triggers and pushes up, then I think I fancy us to go a bit higher there. I'd like to see that trigger though, the failure. Because it looks like one leg, two leg.
Order submitted.
Let's see if that pushes up now. Because it's bounced a few times on that line. So if we can break above that failure, I don't mind going up there.
Order filled.
I don't like to go too high. Let's just go for 2.5 points. Okay, double trap. I'm just going to give that an extra tick. Sometimes it makes a difference. I'm still thinking about getting out. Yeah, I'm not a fan of that. I'm going to get stopped out there for sure. It is sitting on there, but I've got to rely on a bit of luck here because there's probably going to be some double traps around where we've just had this breakout. If we can push above here, then I'll leave it. But I think I'm going to get stopped out. Yeah, I'm going to get stopped out there for sure.
Stop filled.
Yeah, well. I just like the way we sat a few times there, and the short, the failure had triggered and then pushed up. So I thought we were okay there, but oh well, it is what it is. It is what it is. So which one was it? It was that one there, wasn't it? Where's my information off the top gone? Where's all that lot gone? Strange. Where's all my news and that gone? What is going on here? Excuse me a sec. Okay, sorry about that. Let's have a look. Are we coming down? That looks like a leg and a leg. I don't know where all my information's gone up here, but I've got it on the screen above me for some reason. Don't know why. Okay. See, there is a possibility we could have leg and push up, but I don't think there is.
Order submitted. Order
Can't get me.
filled.
That was a hidden second entry short. Nice big bearish bar under the EMA. I kind of like that one. It does look like it's pushing in after this. I'm not convinced that's a channel. We've tried to go higher a bunch of times. I think that's okay. Come on, let's have a drop.
Target filled.
Beautiful. Okie dokie. Let's got us more back up. See, I do go for a few more points now. I was looking back on some of my older trading videos, and a lot of the times, instead of getting out at these lows, I dragged my stop down here, and quite a lot of times when we hit that, we had a good strong push. And I was averaging around about 400 to 600 on a day. Yeah, you're going to take a few more losses, but you build your account so much quicker. So, for instance, what did I take? That trade. Now, we had a channel down here. We had a break of it. We made 2 attempts to go higher. Now, if it wasn't for the news, I'd have 100% taken that. And when I see this, leg down, which was close. In fact, you could probably taken that to there, actually, which would have taken us right to that. It seems a shame to take 2 points when there's a possibility of... I'd probably go for 4 or 5 points down here, maybe out around about there. But instead of taking 2 points, if I'd have put that there, I'd have got 5.75 points, which is nearly 3 times the amount of profit. So I can afford to lose the odd one, but I just like the fact that you can just build accounts quicker. So when I start on my PA accounts, what I'm going to do, I'm going to go back to trading that way, but I am going to reduce my contract size from 2 to 1. So, for instance, on that bar there, what was that bar? I can't see it now. What was the risk on that bar? Let's have a look. So a tick above it, a tick below it. That's quite a big one. So 3.25 points. That's 300 to 100 about $155 I'll be risking on that. A loss, $155, and that's a relatively big bar. So if I lose 2 of those in a day, I'm looking at $320 maximum loss. I can deal with that. It's when it hits the 600s and 700s and above that really cripple me. So my new PA accounts, I'll be going for a few more points, and in a lot of cases, I go for 2 points there. Now, I was quite happy to get out there, but I go for 2 points. So in a lot of cases like this, I'll get more than 4. I'll end up getting the same amount of profit. So that went down for, say, 5 points. I got out at, I think, 3.25. So even if you get out of the midline 4 points, I've still got double the amount that I would normally do. And because I'll be trading only 1 contract, I won't be as nervous in a trade, and I'll have a little bit more confidence to just let it ride. So... What's going on? Just get rid of this a minute. No. So we got a leg down, 1, 2 legs up. We could get some downward movement here, but I'm just it's a bit unsure at the moment. So let's just get that back as it was. Yeah, I like that one. Second entry short. It triggered above that bull buy. See, as we popped out there, we had 2 legs in, 1, 2 legs in, a couple of bars up. So there may have been some people thinking we're going to push out there because we've been making higher highs. And I like the way that trapped longs in and came down nice and bearish. So I like that trade. Let me just adjust this because it's frying my head if it's not right. There we go. Excuse me a second. Sorry about that. My daughter off ill at the moment. Yeah, definitely a hidden second entry. In fact, let's put that. Otherwise, we're going to get the purists giving me. Sorry about that. H. Otherwise, we're going to get the purists saying that was the second entry. You clearly see it is one push up, a little bit of a pullback, another push up, nice big bullish bar, bearish bar. Sorry. So let me just take that up just a fractionally. It's getting a little bit choppy now, isn't it? That bar was, what did we say it was? 2.25. I gave an extra tick, didn't I? So 2.5 points. Why did I even go there? Why did I even go along there? I can't remember. You're green. I think I'm done for the day. Yeah, I don't blame you. Minus 2.5 points. I don't even know why I went long there. Let me think. I got looked like 2 legs back and a higher low there. That was it. So it was a higher low, a bad one, an embarrassing one. Higher low, minus 2.5 points. There we go. That one I didn't take, so I'm up to 5.25 points. So I'm up 3 points. Is that right? Let's take 2.5 off there. 2.75 points. Yeah, I'm up 2.75 points. That's all right. That is. It's only an evaluation, this. It's a $25,000 evaluation. Not easy to pass. I'm not doing the 50s anymore. I might as well do the 25s. Trouble is, when you get them above so high, you get them to $1,500 on a live account, straight away you're extending the so what I'm looking for, you're extending the trailing drawdown. So it's definitely, it's 1-to-1 as well. So yeah, your drawdown's $1,500, your profit is $1,500. It's a little bit cheaper. It's about $10 cheaper to pay for the one-off payment. I think it's a couple of dollars cheaper on the evaluation. So okay, so we've got a channel down here, break new low. One attempt to go higher. If we make another attempt to go higher, then we may come down here. Sorry, Andy. I started reading it and then my daughter. To avoid big losses, if you go long, to avoid big losses, if you go long 1 E-mini, instead of a stop loss, put a sell order, 10 MES, helps you limit your losses, gives you the opportunity to manage the trade. Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah, that's what I mean. That's what I was saying earlier, Indy. It doesn't matter how good your strategy is, you still look for ways to make life easier and things more successful. And I think that's human nature. I don't think there's nothing wrong with that, because sometimes when I'm looking at this, sometimes when I paste on the, in fact, I've stopped pasting on the Facebook page because you just get a lot of negative stuff all the time. There's always someone who tells you you're going to do it wrong in a really sort of negative way, and this people, most of the time they're all right, but lately every time I put something there, you get a load of negative stuff and people start picking holes. So I've sort of given up for a bit, really. You know, if I say I'm trying the 1,000-tick chart or something like that, you get a load of grief. Not by the regulars, by some, some of the newer ones. Just, I don't know, you get a bit of grief. Yeah, some of the new ones have been trading a couple of months and they start picking holes in it. But I think it's natural to look for stuff. It's natural. And I think it's part of being a good trader as well, always trying to up your game, always trying to work with the system. And, they do say that markets are ever evolving. So at the end of the day, you can't just stick to the same things every day. And I think and I've said this before, I think that's why Mac doesn't show us his trades, because he's developed his system. You can't stay with the same rules. Markets won't allow it. It changes. So you develop, as you're sitting here day by day and you see markets change, you naturally develop with them. And I think that's why Mac doesn't show his trades. Because people will start saying, well, that's not what you taught us, or this is not what you're saying. And I think we see that little glimpses from time to time when he marks something, like a doji at the key entry point. Now, from Mac's point of view, he's seen markets develop and will know, even if it is a doji, where it is still worth taking. And that's what happens when you start, your experience level grows and you start to learn and develop. It's getting a bit choppy now, isn't it? I thought after this break, one level down, we may get some more movement, but we did seem to have a bit of a bullish bias slightly, but let's see what happens here. But I think it's more just sideways, in all fairness. Okay, so I think it's likely to come down to this midline. Why have I lost all my information up here, all my news? Okay, let's try this. Hey, Sen, how you doing, buddy? You are late to the party, yeah. Oh, that's annoying me now. Hold on a minute. I know what to do. Let's copy it off the other one. What is going on? Why have I got all my news back, but there's nothing, there's no news here? What is going on? This is frying my head. Oh, no, it's back. What is flipping going on here? Okay, so what's the stuff in yellow? Let's get rid of it, whatever. Unknown impact news. Holiday impact news. High impact, low impact. Show errors. Okay, let's try that, see if that helps. Right, I just want USA, don't I? Oh, interesting. That's triggered. Okay, that's better, isn't it? What the hell? Why have I got Australian dollar and that's Swiss franc, is it? What's that? What's going was only supposed to be the USA news there. Okay, I'll just not save the page when I'm done. Right, let's forget it. Okay, so let's take that upper fraction to there. Yeah, starting to get a bit choppy now. So whether we're going to get down there, so we've had a break. Yeah, it seems that way, mate, doesn't it? I did look at that big bearish that bar. We had a push up, but it's clearly choppy, sat on the midline. Yeah, it's clearly just choppy there. It could continue going sideways there, but it's clearly bouncing around that midline, so it's not something that I got into. But I think that probably likely make a couple of points. We've had this leg down. We've made 2 attempts to go higher. Nice bearish bar. Ordinarily, I wouldn't mind having a go at a trade like that because I like that. We've got a channel. We've had a break 2 pushes up. That's about as nice and as bearish as you can. I think that's worth 2 points. Yeah, it would have been tight. I don't think it's finishing coming down yet. I like that though. Channel down 1, nice break, strong push up, nice big bearish bar. Second time, nice big bearish bar, and down. I'd expect that to get 2 points. The trouble is, it is a bit choppy in news. If it wasn't so choppy and we didn't have the news pending, I'd probably hold on to that anyway. How you doing, Sanny? That's the thought, Sanny. I had a message from someone the other day over the weekend. You know, I was on about this Zoom thing for you. This guy's name, hold on a minute, I got an email. Where is it? 4327 pending level. Yeah. Let's have a look. Where's this message? Where is it? I can't find it. Anyway, there was a guy on the street. There was a guy who messaged me after the stream. I did say mention your name on the stream. I forget what it was now, but he's set stuff like that. He's quite a techno buff, and he does stuff to do with Zoom. So if he comes on the stream, I'll put you two in touch. Oh, dear me. So I've just developed a cough. So still looking okay, that one. But yeah, it's just getting a bit risky there. Yeah, I'd have normally taken that if it wasn't for the news. We had this nice channel down. We had a break. We had two good pushes up. Both time, you can see how it reacted strongly. A little bit of sideways. It had another go, reacted strongly. You'd even call that a triple test in all fairness. Let's have a look. So we had one attempt to go high. You may count that 2 attempts, but after that one, I think that was okay to take that. Did have a 3rd attempt or a 4th attempt, whichever way you want to look at it. But I like that. I'd have had a go at that one if it wasn't for the news, and it clearly would have worked. But I see people like Marco and Daniel taking that type of trade where we have 2 pushes up like this. Not necessarily a second entry short. I mean, that was the second entry short there, which didn't work. So I'd have left that one. It would interest me, but that one, it's a visual 2 legs up, isn't it? Followed by a nice bearish bar. It is a little bit congested, but I still think that would have been worth a go. It is quite a large bar. That's the downside, but it works. Sometimes you just got to go from leg down, leg down. That'll take us just below the bottom there to a new low. So at the overnight lows, we certainly are. In fact, I'm just going to take that up a fraction to the bottoms there, and I think that, yeah, 3 touches there, nicely there, and look what's happened. You got a double bottom there and quite a strong push up. So interesting. Where's this news? 15 minutes. I tell you what, folks, this news is in 15 minutes. My wife just turned up from work, so I'm just going to make a quick cup of tea and have a 5-minute break. And I'll be back. Back in 5. I'm just going to put that there. Okay. Let's put something around it so you can see it. No, that's not very good, is it? Okay, I'll be 5 minutes. Okay, quick break, back in 5. Okay. Let's have a look. Yeah, okay, clearly just going sideways. News isn't bad. Yeah, see if he's talking. He might jabber on for a bit. What currency is this? What currency is it? It's not currency, this, I'm afraid. It's the S&P 500. I'm assuming you just stumbled across the channel, haven't you? Yeah, it's not currency, this, bud. It's futures contracts, trading futures contracts on the S&P 500. Trouble is, all these charts look the same, really, don't they? So it could be anything, really, couldn't it? So US dollars. Yeah, that's what. But yeah, we sort of are really trading US dollars. Hopefully, trying to win them, but no. Claudia Jasmine. What a nice name, Claudia Jasmine. Yeah, it's futures contracts on the S&P 500. So we're up a bit anyway, so that's okay. Up a couple of points. Okay, so that one did win in the end. I decided to leave. We had a channel, we had a break, we had two good strong pushes, followed by two quick reversals, both below the EMA, so I think that was good to take, that was. It did have another go. It doesn't always do that, but it did. It might have been because it was a little bit congested in the middle. You're welcome. You're welcome. You're very welcome. You're welcome to stay. You don't have to run away. If you want a bit of company, we're here. We're here every day. Me and my band of merry men. Okay, so we've come down, bounced twice off that bottom. So I don't know whether I've taken that. I don't know why. I don't know why I can't get rid of the Australian. And that is I'm sure that's the Swiss franc, isn't it? It's probably why they've said, what currency is this? Something's playing. All I've got down here is the US. Country filter, just the US, so I don't know why it's showing. I'm sure that's the Swiss franc and the Australian dollar. Hold on a minute. Hold your horses. Impact news. Holiday. Yeah, it's unusual that I can't see why we would have those there. Something else is missing on this chart enhancer as well. Oh. Oh, hold on a minute. I've adjusted that news by pushing it up. So it's probably hidden out the way there. Let's reset that one. That's why, of course. Top margin 20. Let's put it back to 60. That should sort the problem out. And hey presto. Nothing. Okay. Okay, it doesn't matter. I've got another chart above my head. Clay here, Lance, good morning. How are you doing today? I'm not too bad at all, Clay. Thank you very much. I'm up. everyone's okay when they're up, aren't they? So I had a couple of points there. Didn't take that one. We had some news was bearing on, but I like that channel down 1-2. It was almost similar to that, actually. Similar to the... We had a channel down, we had a break, we had 1-2 attempts up. Nice bearish bar, came down lovely. You can usually tell, actually, our trade works. Hey, Chris, how you doing, pal? So that would have worked nice, but obviously we had the news penned in there. Obviously it was there, so you just don't know. It's a little bit congested, see, which I don't mind taking it. But you don't know whether it's going to trigger and go a bit sideways. And we had sort of similar there. We had a channel down, 2 pushes up, both quite bearish bars. And that would have worked as well. So all good. Good days. You're 16 points out of day Friday. Good for you, mate. 16 points for the week. That's solid, that is. Solid. If you're, let me think about that. If you're trading 2 contracts, that's $1,600 a profit, I think, isn't it? You're missing the... What am I missing? Let me have a look. Missing the... Oh, on one trade. Oh, nicely done. Downtrend from the swing high. Are you on about here? Where are you looking? You're not thinking about there, are you? I'm not sure about that, because normally, say you'd have that from the first sort of the next swing high here, from the high of the day. Okay, let's have a look. I did do something earlier, but I got rid of it. Let's have a look there. Yeah, I'm not sure about that, mate. Reason being, I've gone from here. If you go from here, yeah, I'm not a fan of that. I can't get it to touch more than twice. If we go from here, if we go to that first one, we've got a break and a break. And if we go for that second one, so at the moment, I think we're out of this. So all I'm thinking is sideways at the moment. Oh, right, I haven't reloaded me bloody thing. I keep forgetting to do this. Let's have a look. God, there must be a difference then. There must be that different if they line up on your chart. Let's have a look. Okay, news is pending 1 minute, so it could come in dribs and drabs, actually. It might not be a spike. It might be a... Obviously, he's talking, isn't he? So, let's see. Is that any better? Yeah, it still doesn't look much better, unless you've got it from a spiking channel, have you? Let's try it from here. No, it's still not massively. No, I'm not a fan of them if they don't line up. If I can't even get 3 to line up. So from the highs of the day, if I get that to line up, there's a break, and we continued up. So even if I go with that second one, I'm not so sure. Then there's a break and a new low. No, I'm not a fan of that, mate. I had to reload as well. It was on my end. Yeah, it's a bit too out off the realms out, that one. Excuse me. Okay, so news. Bang on 4 o'clock UK time. So Powell will be doing his stuff now. So where's my coffee? There we go. So just clearly ranging at the moment. We have, I did adjust something, didn't I? Yeah. Just going to put that one down there as a potential. So yeah, 4320 pending level again. Place setup certainly 4320. Hang on about here. Yeah. Trouble is we've got this news now, so you don't know whether he's going to say something quite positive, in which case it's going to continue up. Yeah, 20 is above that midline anyway, so somewhere around about there, isn't it? Yeah, it's surprising how much different these these charts can be if you don't reload your historic. Yeah, it is, isn't it? It's all around the same area. Okay, quite a nice strong push up there. Yeah, it's hard to trade when this news is in, really. You don't know what he's going to say next here, whether it's going to be slightly, it only needs to be slightly positive or slightly sort of negative, and up it goes and down it goes. So even a setup at the moment, I don't know how he talks for. Let me just see, he'll be on, it's usually on YouTube, isn't it? You see that? Yeah, you break above this, quick bearish bar triggers you, rockets up. Okay, we're obviously talking, I'm assuming, by the way that's moving. Okay, so we've had a push up, we've had a break, new high, push down, break. Are we going to get another push down here? It's possible. Possibly. Well, that was quite a strong push up, wasn't it? So we may get some more move up towards these tops. Maybe get higher low here. Okay, so 3 bars sort of slightly moving in that direction, trigger. So whether that was to do with the news or whether that was just some bulls getting trapped now, is that a good short? Certainly a risk, bigger risk, isn't it? Leg down, leg down. That's a big old bar. So tick above, tick below. Yeah, it's a 5 3/4 point buy. Yeah, just a bit on the large side there. This is him talking. Yeah, I've just had a look on YouTube. You usually see him live, but I can't see anything there. Fed Powell speaking. There's nothing that's showing live. There's Bloomberg, but whether they're showing him on there, no, they're just talking about him. It's probably on one of the news channels, isn't it? Any idea what news channels? Someone give me a news channel? I can't think. There's a couple I've used in the past. I can't think what they're called. I can't think. Okay, second entry long triggered there. Possible failed second entry long, but obviously the news is obviously affecting stuff, so it's just it's not on TV. There's some news channels, they usually show it live on a couple of news channels. I can't think some of the news channel names. Hold on a second. I've got one. No, I usually have a couple on me. I can't think of some of the news channels. Yeah, I've just had a look on Bloomberg. He's not on there. They're talking about stuff, but there's actual proper. Just check the financial channel. Yeah, there is a couple I used to have watched in the past or been onto in the past. Yeah, I've just looked at Bloomberg. It's on YouTube, but they're not showing him talking. I think they're just finding out clippets. Something juice, is it called? Financial juice. Something like that. That's that one. Aye. Okay, leg up. Break. What's going on here? It's hard to trade this really because you don't know whether you're going to get stuck in something. How long does it normally talk for? I don't know. Okay, leg. That did what I expected. There was a higher low there, but well, actually a failure. It's moving. It's giving, it's moving. It's not, it's choppish, but it's not the worst I've seen. It is moving. There's not large areas of sideways. There's little bits we pushed down. We have a couple of breaks. We came down. We pushed up. Little bit of sideways, pushed up. So we are moving. 2.7 pending level down. Yeah, we are moving. Failure resistance got my tick. See you tomorrow. Take it easy, pal. Okay, are we going to finally get out of here, or are we going to... Hello. Finally out the top. Now we're going to fade this. This is what I'm not particularly good at. So, news is tricky. Yeah, it is. You just don't know what he's going to say. He could be just rabbit on, and there's no, nothing of necessarily of interest. Then he might move on to another section with some slightly, slightly negative news, and things can turn. Trying to sim. Where's the fun in that? Okay, so we're clearly struggling to go higher here. Nice bearish bar would be quite nice. Just to at least fade this, or at least to ride it to the tops. Yeah, so if you look at it like that, that's an overshoot, which usually means it's going to come down. So, I know some traders will put a sell order below there. See if that would work for 2 points. I do wonder whether this is going to continue on up now. Trouble is, it is an overshoot if you go off either of these. Whichever way you look at it, it's an overshoot. Touches here. Off that side, if you go from here or there, yeah, looks like everything looks like an overshoot. 1, 2, 3 attempts to go high, to go lower. I'd say there's a good chance we're going to at least come back to the EMA. Too risky for me because it is sideways and it could mess you around. We've got the news obviously out at the moment. You just don't know what that's going to turn into. I'd say it's likely to come back to the EMA. I was hoping that might trigger. But it is. We've pushed high. We've made 2 more attempts to go higher. Nice big bearish bar. I think it's good for 2 points. I'm not taking it because obviously they're bouncing around with the news a bit. But if I was going to take it, it'd be 1 tick below there. But after I saw that then. But you just don't know. It is a bit congested. And obviously the news, there is a possibility. There is maybe a smaller, tighter channel. Maybe something like that. I don't know. I'd expect that, depending on where you channel, whether it come back, work its way back to this side and push up. But I don't know about this. It may just be a failed breakout. Most of the time it is. Most breakouts fail, don't they? I wouldn't say that was a great looking channel. But I do expect it at least to retest this or maybe push back in there. But Estonia currency. What is? I'll be surprised if that gets above here. I won't be shocked if there's traders, some traders will buy one tick above there and it'll trigger them and come back down. I suppose it's a lot to do with what the news is holding, isn't it? I won't be shocked if that triggers and comes back down. It almost looks like it's sucking you into buy, doesn't it? And now it'll just go straight back down. Yeah, I can't see where that's working. Definitely think that's a trap, that high. Or I may be wrong. Okay, maybe not. Depends how you got this channel, see. You off, are you, Sally? Yeah, you take care, pal. Let's see what Mac's given us. I think he's back today, isn't he? Okay, I had a feeling that might drop. It's not the best place to buy, really, up there, is it? So I said that might be a trap, but it did go for something, didn't it? Yeah, you just squeezed a 1.5 out of it. Yeah, I'm not massively convinced that's an overshoot. It's not the greatest of overshoots, is it? And especially as it's coming back here. If it was an overshoot, in a lot of cases, they reverse pretty quickly. That looks like it's just going sideways, which I'd say is probably going to come to here and possibly retest here to go with the possibility of going higher. Just have a look at that. Okay, what's Matt got? Okay, he's got that the same as that. He's got his highs slightly down a touch. to about there. Is that one? Just below, yeah. There. Oh no, slightly higher. There, I think. Okay. Is this a leg and a leg? Or is there a long there? Possible long there? There may be. I prefer to go long closer to this, in all fairness. Leg down, leg down. Leg and a leg. Okay, something nice and bullish off here. Be nice. Then maybe a high-low.
Order submitted.
I like the way it's retesting the top of this. That's a good
Order
sign.
cancelled.
So leg, leg. If it now start to push up there, maybe a higher low. Okay, so nice measured move there. Let's have a look. Yeah, nice. If you know, a couple of bounces on maybe a higher low. Ooh. Okay, so that may be an overshoot then. A lot of times we'll do that, get an overshoot, we'll push that a little bit higher and then we'll start to drop. So possibly hidden second entry short. Does look like an overshoot that. We've had another push up and push down quite strongly, so I'd say we're coming back into this range. I think it's probable. Nice strong push down. You can get a hidden second entry short or a second entry short off here to come down lower. Does anybody know if Powell's still talking? How can I add the news feed on my chart? Okay, so what I've got is something from Mac, but I'm pretty sure in Intraday, yeah, I'm pretty sure there is a news feed. I don't know. That's one I've got from Mac, but I'm pretty sure there's something in here. In fact, there may not be. You could probably get it from somewhere. Yeah, someone else might be able to help you there, bud. I'm not aware of one that's in NinjaTrader. And if there was, I don't think Mac will have come up with this. So if you're not signed up for Mac, I'm not sure, but there's probably some sort of indicator you can have on. But I know if you go into websites like Financial Juice and something like that, they'll tell you there. I've got too much on there. For some reason, my indicator's not working brilliant. I've got the looks like the Swiss franc and Australian dollar in here. I don't know why I've got those. There's nothing in that indicator that says why those are on here, so I've got no idea. But yeah, if you go onto Financial Juice, that'll tell you what news is around today that's going to affect it, and it'll tell you whether it's high impact, medium impact, or low impact, and so on. But this one here is this bit across the top here is from Mac's website. You can filter just well, stay on the line there, mate, because I have, and it's still showing that I've already filtered it. Look, economic news, USD. I've just got USD there. Country filter, but for some reason enable country filter. Show only today. Okay, that might be a bit better. Ah, we go. Yeah, I never enabled it. That's all. That's much better. Perfect. Yeah, thanks, bud. I appreciate that. Mahir, I appreciate that, mate. Yeah, I didn't notice that. I was just focused on the USA. But yeah, of course, enable it. But there is. I know if you go on to, let me just have a look. I think there's Forex Factory. That's another one. Although we're not trading Forex. Forex Factory News. Let me have a look. I'll drag this into the screen. So, yeah, I've got to sign up for it. It's free anyway, so. Okay, so hold on, this is not Forex Factory. Here we go. Okay, so if I just drag this in, it does tell you. So if you see it red flagged here, we've got the manufacturing When's this? What day is this? Around 3 minutes from now. Hold on a minute. There is a way of figuring this out. Anyway, this will tell you what news is available. Let's have a look. Fed Powell tells you that he's speaking 36 minutes ago. And there was something else a bit early. But yeah, that's one Forex factory. There's Financial Juice. There's a bunch of them that you can find out. News, calendar. That might be the one. There we go. Okay, so where are we? We are all down here today. So the things you want to be aware of is this one, 3 p.m. my local time, high impact news, US ISM, sort of ISM manufacturing, and that's on the chart. 3 p.m. that one there, and the other one, Powell speaking, which will be that one there, which is at 4 o'clock UK time, USA. And if it's red, it's high impact news, Fed Powell. And there you can see him there. So you can check this anyway. Some do, because obviously this is an indicator. I've never had a problem with it, but it's not infallible. But yeah, this is another one, Forex Factory, and it tells you, what's on offer today. Medium impact news, you got the euro, the Canadian dollar. There's all sorts of bits of information on here, but obviously with trading the S&P 500, I only ever really have US news, UK news, or any type of European news, or whatever else. Doesn't seem to really make a difference, in all fairness. So that looks to me like a little bit of an overshoot. We had a quick another push up, then it came down quite strongly. So I'd say that was an overshoot. So you may have taken that one. I was looking for a lower high there, but there wasn't. But if you took that one, you did quite well out of that. Nice looking channel, that. Okay, so we may get down to this side here. We may even have a drop out the bottom. A lot of the time when we do have a push up there, we have a drop out the bottom. So whether that'll work or not. It's channeling down nicely, but hard even to get a second entry. Yeah, there's nothing really there. Trouble is, you don't know it's going to do this. I mean, there is a small overshoot. And often an overshoot will result in a reversal, and then obviously went a bit sideways. We had a quick push up. I think once we push below the EMA, for me, we were coming down at least to the top of there anyway, and obviously the market had other ideas. But yeah, there's nothing there, unfortunately. If there had been a second entry short up here, I'd have been interested in that, just retesting the underside of this range, but there wasn't really. It was just a first entry, unfortunately. So if we can get a break, maybe a second entry short up here, then I may be interested in riding that down a bit. Because we've had a drop out here, I think it's likely we're going to get down the bottom, possibly even a bit out the bottom. But if we can get a push out here and a second entry short, the thing is, so many times lately this doesn't do this. It just turns. But as we're not far down, then if we can get a push out there and a second entry. But it didn't seem 12 months ago until we had a break from there. 8 times out of 10, you'd have a second entry short, but lately we just don't. Really good setups have just all, I wouldn't say vanish, but become, a lot harder to find. You've got more chance of finding a dodo nowadays than you have a really good second entry short. Are they becoming extinct? I don't know. The only thing I can think of is maybe the S&P, the algorithms of the S&P have been updated and they're a lot better at finding out. I don't know. would like to ask, what is your daily goal as per trade target? Do you have any runner? I don't have a run at the moment, mate. I'm just scalping. I tend to avoid targets because the trouble is with targets, if you set yourself a target and you don't hit the target, sometimes, you know, if you think I want to hit my goal, I want to hit my target, when really you can only trade what you can see. But what I do have at the moment, if I get 2 losses in any one session, then I'll give up. Now, I've had trades here today. I had 1 loss and 2 wins. Now, normally after 2 wins, I may just pack it in, but it's quite early yet. But yeah, I don't really have a financial goal. I just go for whatever I can, really. If you set yourself financial goals, you're setting yourself up to miss targets. So I don't tend to do that. So I know some, they say if they win 2 trades in a row or they have 2 winners, they finish, which is not a bad thing to do. I think if you can get 2 trades in a day, good winning trades, it's a good idea to finish, I think. But also with losses as well. If you get 2 losses, absolutely. Best thing to do is to walk away from 2 losses. Something I've had difficulty doing in the past. But you've got to really, if you get 2 losses in any one session, something isn't right, whether it's the market's really choppy, your patience, and maybe not quite there. Because obviously, you know, and you find out more and more stuff going on in your life, and your day-to-day stuff can affect your mood. And if your mood's a little bit different, a little bit impatient or a bit frustrated for whatever reason, you got stuff on your mind, it really does affect your trading. So I think it's always best if you take 2 losses. So that's the one I tend to want to stick to hard and fast. But as for trades, 2 or 3, or some people sit here for 6 or 7 hours every day, and you know, but I tend to do for around about the 3 hours. I think's enough. Sometimes you can lose your focus a little bit, but this one's an eval. Yeah, I've got 3 PAs going live. I've got 1 going live day after tomorrow, 2 going live a couple of days after. But I did have 4 which I had going for about 2.5 to 3 months. But I had a bad loss. 2 losses in a day, and that set me off on tilt a bit. The problem is because I'd given up work, and I've withdrawn $10,000 this year at my trading accounts, but I've been, excuse me a second. Sorry. Okay, there is a break there. Nothing that resembles a setup, unfortunately. It just kept on coming down. So, what was I saying? Yeah, anyway. Trouble is, I gave up work back in December, and I've been withdrawing bits out of my accounts. And the trouble is, I've been relying on the money, and I was getting close to payouts on those 4 accounts. And I had about $2,200 in each account, and I lost $700. I had 2 losses, rather large bars, and I was angry and frustrated, and that set me off a bit. So unfortunately, they went by the wayside. So you've just got to learn and move on, which was a bit frustrating. Okay, so we had a breakout at the top. It often has a breakout the other side. Which we've had a small one, so let's see what happens here. Okay, I think Powell's finished. I'll get rid of that now anyway. He'd have been talking for nearly 55 minutes anyway, so let's have a look here. So we've had that channel, we've had a break and a new low, so Okay, there's another low, so whether we're going to continue down or not, I think it's likely we'll push back up in at least till the EMA. It's clearly a range day, and as I say, often when you get a push out the top, you get something out the bottom, and we have so. Okay, excuse me just for 1 minute. I'm just going to take a quick bathroom break. Okay, what are we going to do now? I think it's likely we may bounce. We've gone a bit sideways and we've... let's have a look. In fact, no. Actually, there is a possibility. Yeah. Touch. Oh, yeah. I think there's a bigger channel coming down here. Touch from here, touch there, touch there. Yeah, I just wonder why that dropped all of a sudden like that. And I think it's probably because we've hit this area twice now, so it does look like there's a bigger channel. So I just wonder whether we are having that type of thing, leg down, which would take us down there. And if we can push up, retest the bottoms, and then maybe look for a lower high. I should move. Yeah, I was just thinking the same thing, Jay. Trouble is, if we do get a second entry here, if you don't take it, it may just drop without you giving you a chance. Because when we do retest this, I like to give it the benefit of the doubt and give it a chance to push in. And if it doesn't, and we end up getting a lower high, then I'm quite happy then to start thinking about going short. But I just wonder why we had that quick drop there with no real reason. So I just opened up this chart a bit. Touch. It's clearly touching a couple of times there. So I think after that bar there, it's pretty... I think it's pretty fair that we're likely to push down, and we did nicely so. See if we can bounce off the underside here. A couple of times would be nice. Let's have a look. I like how that fits, actually. It's nice. I'll keep that below there, really. Let's get this right. Touch. Yeah, so some may take there. I don't know, you could call that a hidden second entry short, I don't know, but I think it's a bit risky. I'd like to wait for a lower high, really. If you're going to get trapped, that's where it's going to be. If we get a tick above here and then come down, I might go for that.
Order submitted.
I mean, if we are coming down for this bigger leg, there's certainly plenty of space there. It is a little sideways, but I like the way it's hit the top of there, and if it does come down, I don't mind going for that. And then just let it go. Okay, pull down. Try to go up once, try to go up twice. If that breaks below there, I don't think it's a bad place to go short there. See what happens here. It has had 2 attempts to push up here, so no, I'm not a fan of that.
Order cancelled.
I do expect it to come down, but it's clearly I'd have preferred that one a little bit bearish, in all fairness. See if we get maybe a failure. Let's still get an order ready just in case.
Order submitted.
See, that one's triggered. Now I would have put mine below there, I think. In which case it's still intact. There's a possible failure there. If that pushes up below there, I'd say we're likely to move back in there. But I don't know. I think we're coming down here. I do. We're testing this line really nicely. Okay. Let's have a go.
Order filled.
We're testing it 3 times there, so I think that's okay. If we're coming down for another leg, it's certainly a good place to go short from, I think. We'll see, though. I like the channel. It is clearly touching on long here. It's clearly touching here. So I think it looks like it's trying a few times. I think once it gets below these bottoms, especially that bar, it's going to come down. It might take me out, but I think it's worth the risk. We've touched it multiple times, this bottom. So I like it, and I think it's gonna drop out down for this second leg personally. So I think it's worth the risk. Once we get below here, I think we'll be okay. We may get some more sort of continuation down there, but it's clearly fitting along that line, isn't it? And starting to get bearish. If it gets out the bottom, then I think more people might jump on it. We'll see. No audio. There's no audio. No, you can't hear me, no? You can't hear me? Oh, you can hear me. Oh, okay. I can. Oh, okay. F-sensor, no audio. It must be your speaker, bud. It's going a bit sideways here. I still think it's coming down. I still think it's worth holding on. Once we get below here, I think we'll be okay. I could get out now for half a point, but I can see the way it's holding here. It's telling me it's going down. Where are we? Let's have a look. And once we get below here, we're clearly working along that line, making lower highs. So I think it's worth holding on. Okay, there we go. I thought that might happen at some point. Just got to watch this because I need $400 now to pass this account. So don't need that much actually. Need about that, I think. Quite happy to let it have a pullback. I got no problem with that. We're probably going to, but I like the way it's still fitting lovely. So I think there's a fair chance we're going to make this other leg down. It may just pop out because of this, but I'm okay with it. But what I may do is just put that there just to give me that little bit of extra protection. At least I've guaranteed myself something now. I'm $300 off passing this evaluation. So with a nice bearish bar there, I'm quite happy with that, I think. Let's give an extra couple of ticks and that's all I need, I think. $120 more. Come on. Let's put it back up there, actually. No, let's leave it there like a good boy. Come on.
Target filled.
Okay, excellent. There's that $25,000 one pass, $1,672. They're definitely easy to pass those evaluations. You only need $1,500. I've done 3 trades today on 4 contracts, and they've worked. So I took that failure actually. Now it's not the best bar, but if you can see what's happening, touch, touch, touch. It's come back up and it's touched it once, twice. It's come back and it's touched it again, and it's dropped. And it's starting to work down on that line. Now, it's a risk, yeah, but for me, it fits lovely in there. And we've come all this way down, and we've tried to hit the bottom. We've pushed up 3 times. So a lot of the cases, a couple of pushes up, and then continuation down. So I think it's possible we're going to... Now, if I was on a live account, I'd believe me stop there and try and get some more, but there's another valuation passed. So thanks, Ryan. I appreciate that. Thanks, F-Sen. Satisfying. Thanks, Kev. And Jay as well. Sorry, cats. What about cats? What do you want about? No, I don't know what you're on about, mate. Didn't like the second. To be honest with you, I didn't really take it as a second entry short. I took it as a failure, that bar there. But what I'm seeing is it's gone up once, twice, 3 times, and it's pulling down. So I pretty much got a good idea. But the thing is, sometimes you've got to weigh up the odds of a risk, haven't you? So my stop was here, and what did I go there? So it was a 4-point risk. So it was a fair size risk. But after we're going a bit sideways and we try a bunch of times, and I know how nice this fits in from there to there, it fits beautifully. So for me, we're coming down. I'd say if you had to put a percentage on it, I'd say there was 80% chance that's coming down. And if it does get below there, I'm going to get at least my 4-point risk. I get out. What did I get out for there? 6 points. Tell a lie. 5.75 points. So it was a 4-point risk. So I got that out. I got more than 1-to-1 there. So if I think there's an 80% chance that's coming down, and I'm going to get at least 1-to-1, it's worth taking, isn't it? But that leads me to my conversation I had the other day. That guy sent me an email. He said, I think you should just follow you. Because so many times I get into these trades and I think, this looks to me like it's going down, but they're not necessarily a setup. And this guy said to me, sometimes you've got to just trust your gut feeling, because if you're sitting day after day after day and watch these patterns, and you can say confidently, I think there's way more chance that that's going to work than not. If it does work, I would say from this leg to that leg, you're at least going to get down there, and it went exactly where I expected it to, leg down leg, and it gave me enough points to pass. So sometimes I think... yeah, sometimes. So it depends what you're looking at there. But for me, we're clearly struggling. And at some point when we get below here, it's going to drop. And it did exactly what I see. And I see it so many times. So at some point, you've got to trust your judgment and think ultimately, it's up to you whether you want to take it. It's a risk. Now, I'm trading on an evaluation. And it's a valuation that cost me $15. Now, if I was on a live account, would I take that? If I was trading one contract, because I am dropping my live account contract size down to one contract, then I'd take it as well, because I wouldn't be risking a huge amount. But sometimes you've got to trust your gut feeling as you get more and more experienced. And a couple of people have said to me now, I hear you say it's doing this, it's going to come down to here, and it does it. Which is, that guy, why that guy sent the email. I think you need to listen to yourself and that. So it's one of those things, isn't it? Enter the same area, just a bit more above. Yeah. I mean, really, that bar there off that channel, I think is pretty good. And then you get a lower high there, and then you get a failure there. So for me, I'd say 8 times out of 10, that's going to push down, maybe even more. And if you're going to get 1-to-1, if you win 8 times out of 10 on 1-to-1, you're up. So I think it's something you've got to trade. But at some point, as you experience, and I've said this multiple times, and I can't for the life of me find any other reason for it, but I've asked Mac a couple of times, and I know other traders have asked Mac, will you show us what trades you take? Now, Mac teaches us to price action trade with a certain format. Now, his style will have developed and changed slightly over the years. So if he shows us his trades, we're going to be going, hold on a minute, that's not what you're teaching us. That's not what you're showing us. If Mac took a trade there, people are going to be going, well, there's no second entry there, or there's no entry. but is that experience? There is experience will know when something's worth taking, because if you see something do that and push up and slowly come down 1,000 times, you're going to know whether it's worth taking. And ultimately, you're the one that's got to make the decision, and you're the one that's got to accept the loss if it does that. So it's just one of those things with me. For me, it looked like it was coming down, and I like it because it's fitted in that channel so nice. And I'm thinking, second leg after this, we've had a break out the top, and it's come down in a really nice channel. Now, what I'd have done there, I went for the points ultimately, but what I'd have done is I'd have probably, where did I come in here? About here. I'd have put my stop there, in other words, and I'd have guaranteed myself a point. Excuse me, but when it came back above here, I'd have probably just got out there, but I'd have got a 1.5 or a point out of it ordinarily, but so many times it will just continue to come down, and if you can get a move like that, and so many times these are bang accurate, they really are. Even if you got out a couple of ticks higher than that, look what you could have got. Now if I go for 2 points, and if I can average 2 points a day, that's 10 points a week, that's $1,000 a week on 2 contracts, and I can get a 14-point trade in one trade, that's the equivalent of a week and a half's excellent profit, in my opinion. So if you can get one trade like that, if I can win that, I can afford to lose about 6 trades in a row and still be slightly up. So I think it's worth it. If you can spot something, there are times where we have a channel up and we have a break and then we have a higher low, and I take that trade and go out for 4 points when I know confidently the chances are we're going to make there, so we get a channel up there, we have 2 legs back, we have a higher low, and I know without pretty much certainty that market's going to go up there. I might as well try and get 4 points out of it, even half of it, and double the chance of. And I think the more you sit on these charts, like Max says, it's chart time. You get more and more chart time, you start to understand how the things move, and then you start to get a feeling when something looks good. And I think those feelings you get just get, more and more accurate the more years you trade. So, how you doing, Jamie? I didn't see you there. Solid mindset, good trade. Thank you, mate. Yeah, but sometimes you've got to make a decision, haven't you? And the way it was still sort of looping down, I thought as soon as it gets below there, it's going to drop, and it did. It went down nicely. It went down for about 3 points initially, didn't it? And I got 5.75, which passed that evaluation. So I've got 4 evaluations passed now. I've got to say, it's much easier getting $1,500 profit. So I might as well knock it on the head now. We're coming up to 3 hours. I've done what I wanted to do today. So it's been a good, solid day, actually. So that was that failure I took there. So that was 4. It was fail second entry long. 5.75 points. So plus 5.75 points. Now, I did say that when I get back onto my back onto the PAs, I wanted to go back to trading as I used to, and that's the sort of points I'd have got on my old account, which is realistically, if you took 3 trades for 2 points each, taking away fees, you've got exactly the same. So I've got 3 trades worth of profit in one trade. That one there, 3.25. So if I only got 2 points on that one and 2 points on that one, 375, 475, I'll be 5 points less than I am now. So it makes sense if you think you know what's going on and you think we're going to have that next push down, you might as well hold on and get yourself some more points, because it's paid off for me today. So as you get better at reading these, your judgment will get better and better. And that, it seems to be working for me, so I'd rather do less trades and get in on better setup. So, but that's me done for the day. So there has been some setups today, actually. So I thought that was okay. I thought that was nice. I never took that one because of the news, but I like that one, and I like that one as well. We got a leg down. We made 2 attempts to go higher. Nice bearish bar. Came down for a second leg. So, unfortunately, we were in the news there. Otherwise, I'd have come down probably to these lows here, which... So, if I had taken that... 6 points, 5.5 points, same again, nearly 3 times what I'd have normally took. You are going to have the odd extra loss, but I think it's way better to do that personally. But it's not everyone's cup of tea. Some people just don't want the hassle and the risk. Some people just, you know. So, have we got a break here? I don't necessarily think we have. It still fits really nice, so I think this is 2 legs up. We pushed in a bit and dropped, so I think this is going to probably push down. We've had a leg and then a drop, and I think we'll have a continuation personally. But I'm done today. I've passed this evaluation, so there's no point me trading on. We've hit the 3-hour mark anyway, all bar 5 minutes. So good solid day today. So I'm really pleased with today. Much better. I'll tell you something for now. Take my word for it. Go for the $25,000 evals. They'll save you money. You'll pay a little bit less on the eval. You'll pay $10 less when you pay the one-off fee, and you start moving away from your trailing drawdown at $1,500, which is sooner than you do on the 50,000. And in all fairness, when you get past that 3 months, it doesn't matter what account you're going to trade. You can trade as many contracts as you want. And in all fairness, you know, your max contracts on the $25 is 4 contracts. Are you going to trade 4 contracts? I don't think so. Even Vince, who had that $800,000 payout, said he never trades more than 2 to 3 contracts, and he's got $300,000 accounts. So there you go. So that's me done for the day. Good day today. I'm really pleased today. Nice positive day. Reasonably good decision making. And that is it. I'll be back same time tomorrow. So if you're carrying on trading, good luck. Otherwise, I appreciate all your comments. I will see you. Excuse me. I'll see you same time tomorrow. Okay, so bye for now.